If the vulture fails to hover at the end of a sacrifice, then you know that something happened in the land of spirits. Ogbanje began softly. Ebuka, your mother has danced enough of surugede dance, which is meant for the spirits, and now it is time to set her free. I don't get you, Ada. What do you mean by that? Ebuka asked as he turned to look at Ogbanje. He had gone that early morning to Ogbanje's house to seek for a solution towards his mother's strange illness, and now he was leading her back towards his house. Ogbanje told Ebuka as she escorted him back to his parents' house. Ebuka became elated when he heard those words. Really, Ada? He asked to be sure of what he heard. Ebuka, I think there might be a way after all to save your mother. Yes, there is a strong forces following your mother that we need to break the bond that binds them together, Ogbanje said. Strong forces? Ebuka echoed after her in surprise. Well, I think your mother belongs to the forces of darkness. Is that why she was sent to kill me? Ebuka asked. Yeah, or didn't you hear what your mother had confessed with her mouth the other day, eh? Ogbanje stops as she turned to face Ebuka. You are doing as if you weren't there. Ebuka stops also and stared at Ogbanje and then smiled. His dark, ebony, handsome face lit up as he spoke. I was there. Ogbanje nodded her head and turned to continue their walk. She was uncomfortable with the way Ebuka's eyes were staring at her. His next words stopped her movement. Adamu, you are now adding more beauty every day by day. I just noticed it now. You are beautiful, Ada, and I am glad you are my friend. I wish we were something more. Who knows what the future brings? The last part was whispered quietly, but Ogbanje heard it. After making sure her heartbeat has returned back to normal and her face was no longer red, she turned to face Ebuka, who had suddenly picked interest on his sole of his feet. Ebuka, we still have much day, time, years even to discuss more about this, but for now, let's focus on your mother, Inugo. Ogbanje told Ebuka, who nodded his head, and they continued their journey. Once they got to Ebuka's home, his mother was still writhing in pains. His siblings were around her, crying and fanning her. Ogbanje shook her head sideways as she pitied the woman in front of her. She left Ebuka side and over to meet the woman. When she got closer, her beautiful face was squeezed. She turned to face Ebuka, then his mother, and back to Ebuka, and motioned Ebuka to come with her at one corner of the house. She doesn't have much to live, Ebuka. Ogbanje began, only to get interrupted by Ebuka. Meaning what, Ada-biko? They have decided to take her life tonight, Ebuka. Can't you do something, Ada? If not for anything, please save my mother because of me. She is the only parents I and my siblings has, Ebuka said, as tears began forming in his eyes. I didn't say I won't help either, did I? Ogbanje said, rolling her eyes. Biko, stop this, your cry. You know I don't like it when I see tears in your eyes, Biko Ebezina. Please stop crying. So what are we going to do, Ada? How will you stop these forces of darkness from killing my mother? Ebuka asked. He was not worried again, he was only curious about Ada's plan. Ogbanje laughed out aloud. Curiosity killed the bird, Ebuka, but anyway, well, here is the plan. Okoro has just returned from his farm when Adaku came out from the hut and helped him with the loads he was carrying. Adaku, this one that you came out today to help, I hope you have not quarreled with your daughters? Okoro asked as he was surprised to see his wife instead of the children. Nai, so you mean to tell me that I cannot help you again, eh, Nai? Okay, there is no problem. Next time I will come and carry myself to help you, Adaku said in annoyance. Aha, Adaku, I just asked a simple question, Odikwegu, Okoro said as they went inside. Papa, Biko, tell us another story, Uzochi said as they had finished eating roasted yam with red oil. Adaku had long gone to sleep. Yes, Papa, tell us a story. Uzochi chipped in, also in support of her twin sister. Yes, Papa, it's been long you have told us a story, Ogbanje said also. Okoro nodded his head as he heard his three beautiful daughters. Uzochi, go and keep the plates we used in eating in the kitchen before I say any story. Okoro said, Uzochi doesn't need to be told twice. Okoro cleared his throat and began his story. There was a time in a very, very far village when monsters torment little children and teenagers at night. That was a long time ago. The villagers tried to capture and kill these monsters, but all their efforts ended up in vain. In this same village, a beautiful girl named Omana lived with her parents. She was very beautiful that princes from faraway lands competed to win her heart. One day, Omana's parents traveled to the next village and left her yam and snail to eat. Her parents warned her not to leave the house at night because of the dangerous monsters that roamed the village. They also warned her to roast the yam before the snail because the water from the snail would quench the fire. One night, when Omana's parents were away, she became very hungry and made a fire with the last matchstick in the house. Omana roasted the snail first because of her lust for meat. The water from the snail quenched the fire, and so she couldn't roast the yam. Still hungry, she disobeyed her parents and went out of the house to collect a matchstick from a neighbor. On her way, she met a very ugly monster that steals beauty from young girls. She tried to run, but she couldn't move her legs. The monster stole her beauty and left her with its ugliness. Since that day, the beautiful Omana, who was once the talk of the village, now became the ugly girl no one wanted to marry. That is the end, Okoro said finally. But Papa, what is the name of the story? Ogbanje asked. Well, you three can choose a name for it, Okoro told his waiting daughters. I will name it Omana the stubborn she-goat, Uzochi said first. How can she be a stubborn she-goat when she is not a goat, Uzochi? Ogbanje said in between laughter. Help me and ask her who. Anyway, for me, I will name it Omana, the stubborn child, Ugochi said. The story ought to be named Omana, the disobedient daughter, Ogbanje said. That is all a good name you all have got. Now it is time to get some sleep. Good night, Papa. The three girls chorused together and went into their various rooms. Okoro went inside soon. Why is it that I haven't heard the death of Nena? Ezenwai asked her fellow coven witches. I'm surprised as you are, Ezenwai, Adaku told the gathering. This is strange, strange. A power is daring the almighty powers of Aku. We are going to fish out whosoever that is behind this and have him or her dealt with. Tomorrow you must go and check on Nena and see if the sickness has really killed her finally, Ezenwai said, pointing at Adaku with the end of her staff. I will do as you have told me, Ezenwai, Adaku replied. If you see anything that is not right, inform me. In the realm of the gods, Aku was seen hovering around the dominion of Ikenga as he patiently waited for the great deity of old. Aku was a smaller god who had once sought the help of Ikenga. With the powers Ikenga had bestowed on him, he became more evil and wicked and filled with bloodlust. What do you want, Aku? Ikenga's voice rang sharply through as Aku came out of his thought. I came here to inform you that there is a god stronger than you in the realm of the mortals who has defeated me, Aku said. Do you know the name of this person you just spoke of? Ikenga questioned, his muscles moving in a more flexible way. That is what I am afraid. I and my followers are trying to find out where the powers came out from. Find out and inform me quickly. I want to know who dares challenge me.